And then
Perfect. So welcome everybody. I think we can get started. So welcome to this week's Women in Product Toastmasters Club meeting, and happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I'm excited to be sharing in our shared love of great products and the customer communities that we serve. So Steve Jobs famously said, "You've got to start with the customer experience and work back toward the technology, not the other way around." And as we navigate our discussion today, I'd like to remind our evaluators and future evaluators that there are some resources on the Women in Product Toastmasters Club members folder under evaluations to help guide you. I'm also going to share via chat an evaluation form you can use to help structure your speaker evaluations. And we encourage all of you actually to feel free to complete some evaluation notes for speakers and then share them with folks after the meeting. And for guests joining, welcome. For new members joining, welcome. Just a quick reminder, you'll be muted on entry, but you can toggle your mic on and off when you speak. You can also, we encourage you to keep your video on if you can. And finally, as most of you should know by now, but the meeting is being recorded. It's our policy that by participating in the meeting, you agree that a recording will be made publicly available on our YouTube channel and our website. It's also a great resource to sort of go back and review before a meeting where you have a role. And that's it for me. At this time, I'd like to introduce you to our president, Erica Tamburo. Erica, take it away.
Good morning, or afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're joining us from. The mission of the Women in Product Toastmasters Club is to provide an opportunity for women to develop product management skills, to build and practice communication techniques, and to gain leadership experience in a safe, supportive, and collegial forum. And we're happy that you love the club so much and each other that you're here celebrating Valentine's Day with us all. I'd also like to take a minute to welcome all the guests that we have today. We have quite a number of guests. I'm trying to capture everybody as they join the meeting. We invite guests to introduce yourselves briefly if you would like, if you feel comfortable. And we also invite you to participate in the meeting. Later in the meeting, we will have what we call table topics, which is an informal, impromptu speech of 1 to 2 minutes. If you are comfortable participating or uncomfortable participating, you can message our table topics master of the day, Liz, and Liz will know to or not to call on you today. Yeah, so we would like to welcome Melissa, Eileen, Arcana, and C. I hope I'm pronouncing your names correctly. If you would like to say hi to everybody, we would love for you to introduce yourself. Let us know where you're at on your product journey and what you're looking for in Toastmasters.
hi, everybody. I can go first. I'm Melissa. This is actually my third meeting with this group, and I made it official by sending my form yesterday, late at night, but I'm excited to be here. So where am I in my product journey? I am a program manager right now, a senior program manager at AllRage, which is a nonprofit accelerating the success of female founders and investors. And I'm here because I would love to hit 2 birds with 1 stone by leveling up in my public speaking as well as product management. And so I'm really curious, excited to learn from all of you.
Welcome. Really, really excited you guys you decided to join us. Thank you, Melissa. C, am I saying your name correctly?
Yeah, yep, definitely. Hi, everyone. My name is CE. I'm currently a product manager at a charging software startup called EV Connect. I'm a very passionate clean energy enthusiast and a amateur guitarist, as you can tell. I am very excited about this meeting, and this is actually my first time attending Toastmaster. And also my husband is an advocate for Toastmaster for quite a while. He's in a local Bay Area Toastmaster club as well. So I want to just try it out and also kind of practice skills, effective communication skill, because I think this is like the #1 skill as a product manager. So really excited to meeting you all, and can't wait for this to roll out.
Thank you for joining us today. Eileen?
Hi. Eileen, you got it. Good morning, everybody. So my name is Eileen Maldonado. I am currently a product manager at Epson America. I work on receipt printers. Not sexy, but you use it every single day. I'm really interested in improving my communication skills and working on getting really concise. I can be long-winded per my last review, so I'm working on that. Just also looking to connect with a bunch of other inspiring women. I attended the conference. This is the first time that I'm joining this Toastmasters meeting, and I'm super excited to learn and grow.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. And Arcana?
Hi, I'm Achana. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm a software engineering lead, and I've been thinking to move to product management. That's how I got to know about this group. And any role I pick, I know communication is necessary, and that's why I started coming to this Toastmaster and find out if I can learn and contribute here.
Thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you.
And have some fun. Okay, I will hand it back to Svetlana. And
I think it's the Toastmaster.
oh, Swati.
Thank you, Erica. Good morning and good afternoon. To start with, I'd like to wish you all a very happy Valentine's Day. It's a special day, and thank you for spending your time with us this morning or this afternoon. While Valentine's Day is to celebrate our love with our dear ones, today in our meeting, we are going to celebrate it with the products we love. As we go through this meeting, I would like you all to think about questions like these. What makes a product lovable for you? Which is that product you fell in love with the very first time you used it? Was there a love at first sight? Which products were hard to love? Were there any products you broke up with? Or did any product break up with you? With all these questions in mind, I'd like you to think about what are the different products which you love and what really makes it lovable for you. For me, you can truly tell that I love a product if you ever see me recommending that product to you. I enjoy being an early adopter of several new products because that helps me see how the products and the companies are growing. One of my favorite food products, and mind you, I'm recommending it right now, at the moment, is a product called as Nugs. I became a vegetarian a year ago, and chicken nuggets used to be my all-time favorite. This specific company has really innovated on creating a vegan nugget. And on top of that, if you check out their company website, you will be surprised to see that they follow practices of software development while they are iterating on this food product. While there are some products which I really love, some products are not really easy for me to love. You might find me to be one of those rare ones questioning why a specific product is so great for so many others. Let's talk about a product, for example, Clubhouse. I was also an early adopter of the Clubhouse app, and I joined way back in August last year. While the company is so much in the news at the moment and has potentially become a startup unicorn, I'm still not able to fall in love with the product. I can see it more than an app which lets you do sessions with just your audio. So as we proceed with our meeting, I'd like you to think about these products. I'd like you to look at the products differently. What is good about a product? What's bad about a product? Why is it that you like a specific product? And then we'll dive right into our meeting today. Coming back to Toastmasters, a typical Toastmaster meeting consists of 3 different sections. The first one is the prepared speech section, in which members of the club present their speeches from the pathways they have chosen to work on. Today's speakers are Srimay and Olina. Then we'll move on to the table topics section, which is a section where members and guests get to practice impromptu speaking. That will be led by our table topics master, Liz, who has prepared some interesting prompts for us. After that, we'll move on to the last and the most important section of the meeting, the general evaluation. The general evaluation will be led by Rita with her team of speech evaluators, Misha and Isha, and the 3 role players, Jennifer, who is the grammarian, Amy, the R counter, and Nav as the timer. We also have a vote counter, Laurie, who will help us select the best table topic speaker for the day. Before we kick off this meeting with the first section, I would like to ask Jennifer, our grammarian, to introduce the word of the day to us.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster and guests. As a grammarian, as Swati had mentioned, it's my responsibility to pay close attention to all of the speakers today. And I'm going to be listening carefully to what language they have been using. And as a grammarian, it's also my duty to introduce the word of the day, as Swati had mentioned. So the word of the day is going to be Net Promoter Score. And as in following in today's theme, NPS calculations are something that is very much a measurement in terms of how we perceive customer experience and that customer experience management. So if you understand the NPS calculation, scores of 0 to 6 indicate a detractor, and those are unhappy customers who can potentially damage your brand and impede the growth of your product. And the word of mouth, right? Passives are scored from 7 to 8, which indicates that customers are satisfied, but maybe they're not enthusiastic customers about that particular product. And promoters are score from like 9 to 10. And those are those loyal enthusiasts that'll keep buying and referring others and fueling that growth. One of the things that Swati had mentioned is that, for Clubhouse, I'm not sure if she were to take a NPS calculation, where would she fit on that? And so today I would encourage you to utilize our word of the day for Net Promoter Score or NPS calculation. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jennifer. So it is now time to start with the prepared speeches for the day. Our first speaker for today is Srimay. Srimay is pursuing the leadership development track in Pathways, and she is in love with an app called Baby Connect. And her speech title for today is 2 Products That Made Life Easier for Me in 2020. Let's all welcome Srimay.
Thank you, Madam Toastmasters Swati. Good morning, everybody, and a very happy Valentine's Day. So I'm here to talk about the 2 products that made my life easier in 2020. So 2020 will be remembered as the year the world had pandemic, everybody worked from home. For me, I will also remember it as the first year that I was a new mom. So my baby was born 2019 December, and there have been a lot of things happened ever since. When I was signed up to be the speaker for this week, I was thinking hard on what topic to talk about. A good part of last year, I spent at home taking care of my child. Half year, I went back to work, confused, and how to deal with my work and life and balance and everything. Then I came across this quote from Guy Kawasaki saying the hardest thing about getting started is getting started. I was then inspired to just be authentic and talk about a snippet in my life in the past year and talk about 2 products that really helped me. So here I am presenting me in front of you without any prepared speech, talking about 2 products that actually I loved in the past year and were a game changer for me. So welcome to my life. Let me take you back to my childhood where I was born in a town called Hyderabad in India. So I remember the early days of my high school where I was really interested in math and science. And around my eighth grade was the first time our school, and that's when the computers were becoming popular. So our school had computers with internet, and they were teaching us the PowerPoint presentations, how to learn different tools and how everything works in a computer. I remember with my best friend, we were trying to finish our lunch earlier to just sneak into the computer lab to play around with different PowerPoint tools and make pretty slides and just get that feeling of accomplishment. So that was the early stage of interest that I got into technology. And that's how I decided I was going to study math science in my higher studies. So that led me to take electronics and communications as my bachelor's in engineering. And then I was very interested in pursuing my master's in San Jose State University in electrical engineering. So I always had a knack for technology, and I was very enthusiastic about how technology would solve everyday problems. So when I started my career in my first job, I thought that was the hardest job I had. It was a customer facing job. I was being yelled by customers for a product that they didn't like. So I thought that was the toughest job. But I realized I have the toughest job right now, which is being a mom. It is highly rewarding, but it is tough. So when I go back to my old self, I would like to tell that whenever you feel there's the toughest job, somebody else will be having even more tougher jobs that they're going through. So we shouldn't complain, but just take the positive out of it and move on. So coming back to last year, there are so many moving pieces going on with me being a mom, the world having a pandemic, and everybody staying home. It is to say the least, I was losing my sanity. So I decided, and there were so many things to keep track of the baby. I I turned towards technology to help me solve some of these issues. So I came across an app called Baby Connect, which is a baby activity tracker. Well, I heard about it and I thought it's a pretty good idea. Let me try it out, right? So when I downloaded the app and I started inputting data, so you can input the number of diapers, the feed schedule, the nap schedule, everything good. Well, I started using the app. Yeah, it seemed pretty good. And the best part about the app is the analytics. So when you go into the analytics, you know how long the baby slept, where there were gaps, and how long the baby fed, and where were the gaps. It seemed pretty interesting. And I really fell in love with the product first time. And I actually had to really give a thumbs up to the inventor who thought about coming up with such an app. And the best part where I saw the real value was when I actually went to the doctor and he asked me the statistics. All I had to do was, not rack my brain on what actually happened, but instead just open my phone and, check for the analytics. So that the reason I really wanted to mention that is if there is any other new mom and who wanted to actually have some a respite, so I would highly recommend this app. So that was one of the products I really loved using in the past year. So another product that really helped keep my sanity is the Dyson Vacuum. So when I have a little fur baby before I had my actual baby, he is a shedder. He's a golden retriever. So every day morning, I wake up to tumbleweeds all around my house. I was thinking hard. So what? My fur baby is most precious thing I've ever owned before my baby came. So I was thinking, what's the best way to keep my sanity and keep my house clean? Then I was thinking about, I was reviewing Dyson, and people were really crazy. I heard that it was the Apple of vacuum cleaners. I was apprehensive getting the vacuum. So once I got the vacuum, It made my life easier. It was a cordless vacuum. It was handheld. I didn't have to remove, or I didn't have to tangle with a lot of wires. And the cleaning that otherwise would take 1 hour for me earlier would just be done in 5 minutes. I can put the baby in a bouncer and just clean the house in 5 to 10 minutes. Trust me, it's so good if you don't already have one. I might sound like an advertiser for Dyson, but that is how much I love that product for me to come onto the stage and talk about it. So these two products were the ones that really helped me keep my sanity as a mom, as a technology enthusiast, and as a human in general. So thank you for listening to my speech. And I would really love to know about any products that made such a difference in your life too, and would like to connect. Thank you so much. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Srimay, for this wonderful speech. I have learned about two products which maybe I'll need it in the future. Let's take a moment to give her feedback. We'll take 1 minute over the clock to give her feedback, and you can send her a DM over the chat or any way you're comfortable with. Also, timer, can you let me know when 1 minute is done?
Excuse me, Nav. Point of order for the timer portion. Can you show the green light once they've hit 5 minutes, and then the yellow light at 6, and then the red light at 7?
We have 4 green light going at 4. We have had that in the past. Speeches are.
Okay, if it's for the icebreaker speech, yes, but any speech that's not icebreaker. But either case, don't have the green light on from the beginning. Have the green light on when they've reached their minimum time, and then move them along accordingly.
So now let's go with Rita's suggestion of 5, 6, and 7.
Okay, so let's move on to our second speaker. Our second speaker today is Olina. Olina is pursuing the persuasive influence track in her pathways. It has not been easy to travel for almost a year now. It has been even more challenging for people who have a travel bug like Olina. The new reality required new ways of discovering and enjoying places safely. Today, Olina will be sharing her findings about a product that she fell in love with recently, self-guided audio tours. Let's welcome Olina, and her speech title for today is Reinventing Travel.
Can you believe that soon will be a 1-year anniversary since the first nationwide lockdown happened in the United States? We were all hoping that it wouldn't last long, yet we're still recovering. During the lockdown, we have gotten used to new ways of doing things. We changed our habits and also discovered new products that helped us cope with the situation. Madam Toastmaster, dear fellow members and honored guests. Today, I would like to share my findings about a product I have recently fallen in love with. I truly hope you will give it a try one day and enjoy it as much as I did. I've had a travel bug for as long as I can remember. This is why I chose a career in the travel industry. When COVID hit, I was restless. Being cooped up in a 1-bedroom apartment without an opportunity to travel safely drove me crazy. I started looking for alternate ways of traveling. I tried virtual tours, that actually looked more like PowerPoint presentations, watched documentaries about travel destinations, and spent tons of time on travel forums. Nothing helped until I came across self-guided audio tours. Interestingly, the first audio tour was pioneered back in 1952 by Willem Sandberg, who was a director of a museum in Amsterdam. According to Wikipedia, he was the first one to use radio broadcasting to deliver the exhibition's content in different languages. Fast forward, then there were the electronic multimedia guides. Well, an example would be an MP3 player with headphones that you can pause and play. Then cell phone tours were developed. Each stop would have a phone number that you could call and listen to a pre-recorded story. So what does technology have to offer today? Let's dive in. Today's smartphones can use the power of mobile apps to deliver the right story at the right language in the right place. Such apps can work both online and offline, indoor and outdoor. There are many apps available on the market, and they're developed by cities, by museums, and also by private companies. According to the Arrival Conference report, which is considered to be the travel industry leader, there were at least 40 companies around the world that provided mobile self-guided tours in 2020. These companies offer smartphone audio tours that help you navigate a route on your own. The stories get triggered by GPS or sometimes by QR codes. Then this technology allows you to enjoy all types of tours. You can do a cycling tour, a walking tour, a boating tour, or my favorite, a driving tour. Self-guided tours were a thing pre-pandemic, but now they're becoming a much bigger thing. Why? Well, firstly, the tours offer a safe and socially distanced experience. So you do not have to stand close to someone on a walking tour or sit next to a stranger on a bus trip. Secondly, they offer a great deal of flexibility. You pause the tour at any time, and you can also start and finish the tour at any time. You don't depend on the group. Thirdly, they're much cheaper than regular tours. As an example, a self-guided walking tour can cost you between $3 to $10, not to mention that some of them are actually free. And a driving trip can cost you between $5 to $20. And lastly, my favorite, these self-guided tours save you tons of time that is usually spent on planning the trip. I bought my first self-guided driving audio tour of the famous California Highway 1 back in the fall of 2020. I took a trip from San Francisco to San Luis Obispo. How disappointed I was. How disappointed I was that I did not take this tour earlier. It was absolutely amazing. These were the most well-spent $10 ever. Even though it was not my first time taking the Highway 1 drive, I discovered many off the beaten path locations. I discovered great food places and fantastic vista points with the help of the app. And after downloading the app, I didn't have to worry about the spotty signal because it was all working offline. It almost felt like I had a friend sitting in the passenger seat who turned out to be a local insider, a historian, and a storyteller all in one. Since then, I took over 10 self-guided walking tours in San Francisco. You can say I was really looking for something to do. And also, I took a fantastic self-guided driving tour in Hawaii a month ago that I highly recommend. The NPS for that one would be definitely a 10. Oh, and not to mention, last weekend, I went to Yosemite National Park. And yes, you guessed it right. I took a self-guided audio tour there as well. One may ask, so what is the future of this kind of tours? Most likely, self-driving cars will include GPS-triggered storytelling into their infotainment system. Or maybe one day your personal assistant like Siri or Alexa are going to take you on a tour. But until we have flying cars and robots giving tours, I highly recommend trying some of the self-guided audio tours that are available in your city or around. Remember, these tours offer safe, flexible, budget-friendly experiences that save you time. And I would be more than happy to share the name of the apps that I absolutely love. Next time you're in San Francisco, by the way, please take a self-guided driving audio tour that my team and I have been working on and are actually launching tomorrow. Safe travels, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Alina, for this wonderful speech. Let's all take a moment to give her feedback in whichever way you're most comfortable with, and we'll use 1 minute on the clock to do this.
Yep, I think that was 1 minute.
Okay. Thank you, Nav. So we have now come to the end of the prepared speech section for today. But before moving on to the next section, I would like to have all of us in this meeting today go off of mute and give a big round of applause for these two speakers today. Can we all do that? Thank you. I request you to go back on mute so that we can start with the next section. So the next section of today's meeting is the table topic session. It will be led by Liz. And before bringing her on board, I'd like to tell you about her favorite product, the product which she loves recently. One of the products which she loves right now is Rent the Runway product. It's because it has given her access to a revolving closet of endless outfits without having to buy them. Let's welcome Liz.
Hi, everyone. I just love this theme today, products we love. It's so timely, given it's Valentine's Day, and we're all reassessing the things and the people that we love and value. I'm sure we all have a favorite product that evokes rave reviews and high NPS scores. And today's topic will be building on this theme as we think about the product experiences that have really pulled off this challenging feat, being a product experience we love and value. So the first question for today is, in the context of COVID-19, our lives have dramatically changed. Our habits have changed, our day-to-day has changed. And so the question is, can you tell us about any products that you found invaluable during this time of COVID and being in a pandemic when things have changed so greatly? So the first person I'm going to call on for this question is Tanya. And let me know if you'd like me to repeat the question.
Thank you, Liz. No, I don't think you need to repeat it. COVID, this whole experience has, like everyone, probably made you closer with your family. I've had my kids home that I wouldn't have had home at this time. But when I think about what has brought us closer and what I have found invaluable are the time, the quality time, and we have generated quality time by a lot of binge watching. We've selected things. If you need recommendations for anything, let me know. I'll put them in the chat. But and my kids vary in age, so it's been very specific to the age group. Also, one thing that has been clutch has been board games. We've rediscovered board games. We've rediscovered Monopoly and Scrabble. But we also got some new board games. So I don't know if you guys know about Catan and Ticket to Ride. Those are amazing. My kids are older, so the whole strategic thinking, but then the conversations that get generated. So I guess to sum up, it's been just the quality time and the different products that have, not just COVID-19's created the quality time, but then it's the supplement of the great
products that are out there that you wouldn't have used otherwise to make this time even better.
Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for that. You know, playing games and watching fun shows on Netflix has been such a joy for so many of us as we're hunkered down at home. Thank you for that. So our second question for this section is, can you tell us about a product that has inspired your approach or a decision in your work? Great products not just are fun to use, but they can inspire our decisions as folks working in product. So the person I'm going to call on for this question is Rosalia. Let me know if you'd like me to repeat the question.
Yes, can you briefly repeat the question, please?
Of course. So can you tell us about a product that has inspired your approach or a decision at work?
Perfect. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and start with, it's a mix of Wrike and Asana. So at work, I use Wrike to track the progress of all the projects that we're working on, any new product launches that we're using. And I absolutely loved the way that it broke down things very differently. I had previously used Jira, but what I love about Wrike is that you're able to kind of see a better overview of where you're at in your project. And that has led me to then use Asana for any personal projects that I use. So for example, my team and I have been using Asana for the IM project, which is a project that I run outside of work. And it has been able to help us all stay on the same page and know where everyone's working or what everyone is working on at all times. It also lets us go back in and add any notes in case we ever think of anything outside of the time that we're talking about it, outside of one-on-ones, right? So for me, I think that Wrike and Asana have both been super crucial to the work that I've been doing during this pandemic, and trying to just really make sure that all my projects move along as efficiently as possible. And let's see, and time.
Thank you for that. I am also a big personal user of Asana. I bet they would have a high NPS score. So moving on to our third question for today, our final table topics question. So this one is really centered on the theme that great products can change our minds. So here the question is, can you tell us about a product you were once skeptical about, but you grew to appreciate over time? So the person I'm going to call on today is Namrata. Let me know if you'd like me to repeat the question.
No, I think I did get the question. So for me, I would say, to be very honest, it was initially Slack that I was skeptical about, because there has been so many messaging apps, and big companies have tried, especially enterprise communications. And I was once associated with a startup company that was doing enterprise messaging, and it just something always was getting missed out. And NPS scores is always the thing you track, right? And it would always miss that mark because you're getting there, but you're not entirely getting there. And Slack, initially, I thought, another one comes up with some fancy colors. They're not probably going to be doing anything, but I was so wrong, because today I'm a big fan of Slack, and I do know there are a group of people who love to hate it too. But the fact is that they have turned it around. And the biggest thing for me is just not that there is a consumer feel to an enterprise. I love how they have expanded it to multiple portions, whether it be the API integrations where you can bring in your own product and do notifications, or you can truly make collaboration happen in the form of those bots, which have donut bot, which bring coffees together, especially in the virtual environment. It's amazing. And I love how they have scaled from being an app that you could have for free also, like in our case, we can also use it, or if you want to be enterprise and use it at scale. I just love how they have gone about that transformation. And that's why Slack is that app for me where I was skeptical, but now I'm a fan.
Thank you, Namrata. I recently changed companies and they don't have Slack, and I've found myself missing it. Well, that concludes our table topics session. So now I'll be handing it back to Madame Toastmaster.
Thank you, Liz. So yes, we've come to the end of the table topic section for today. But again, before we move on to the next section, I would like to have all of us go off of mute and give a big round of applause for all these 3 brave speakers today who volunteered to answer these prompts set by Liz. And it's time now to give your vote for the best table topic speaker and pass it on to Laurie, our vote counter. We'll now get started with the third and the last section of our meeting today, the general evaluation section. The general evaluator for today tends to fall in love with several products, but doesn't necessarily stay in love with them. For her, GPS was a big game changer when she no longer had to rely on strangers to help her get to wherever she had to be. Let's welcome Rita.
Thank you so much for that. All right, now at this portion of the meeting, what we do is we have a specific evaluator take a look at the speech that we just heard and give information in terms of the stuff that was great and things that might be done even better the next time. For our first speaker, please welcome as our evaluator, Misha Singh. Misha?
Hello, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. Today, I would be evaluating Srimai. Why do I only see myself and not her? Can we pin her? So it's easy to address. Else I'll get started. I'll let someone else figure that out. So the first thing I wanted to say up front for Srimai, that I remember your introduction speech and what a change. I really want to congratulate you on how far you have come. You just seemed so comfortable in how you were presenting, what you were saying. Your entire speech sort of was following a pattern. I could understand why you had gone all the way back to your childhood to talk about why technology is important for you. And then you tied it very well with your experience today with both the products. Speaking of the products, it was great that up front in the title, I knew that you will be talking about 2 products. So I was waiting for the second one to also come. And both your products also tied into why they are important for you today and why specifically they were important for you in 2020. So that was like really, really awesome, right? The stage was set and I knew what I should be hoping for. You engaged me with your quotes, both when you talked about your first product, as well as when you talked about your Dyson Vacuum. As soon as you talked about your Dyson Vacuum, you were upfront and you said, like, it's the Apple of the vacuum cleaners. I exactly knew what you were going to talk about, and that you are promoting, you're the high NPS for both the products that you are going to talk about. So it was amazing to hear that. With both the products, you not just told about how they are adding value to your life, but you also kind of gave us the top things that you like about the product. So like analytics for Baby Connect, and then how things get done faster for Dyson. So thank you so much for that. In terms of the constructive feedback, I was thinking about areas that I can give you constructive feedback on, and really it's nitpicking, but I would suggest that maybe next time you should think about really like using the word of the day that has been introduced and just try to incorporate that. It will just show more that you are like flowing in. And the second one is possibly like standing up or using your hands and your like body language as well. Thank you so much for this great speech.
Thank you, Misha, for the feedback. Appreciate that.
All right. Thank you so much, Misha. That was great. Nav, can I please just ask you, what time are you using to evaluate for the evaluators? And you're on mute.
I'm 2 to 3 minutes for the evaluators.
So your timing is not working with that, just so you know. You kind of just have been moving it much faster than it should be. So if you could just double check your time on the next evaluator, that would be great.
Misha took 3 minutes and 12 seconds. I'm trying to understand what the question is because I put the green at 2 and the yellow at 2:30 and red at 3. So I'm trying to understand your concern.
Where are you timing people then, I guess is the question, because Misha actually took 2 minutes and 52 seconds.
I time them like when they start speaking.
Okay, that is the time to do it, but something is just not quite.
Well, maybe I started like I started right when she had her chance. So like maybe you're timing her like she was making comments about like not seeing the person, the speaker, but my timer was already going on. Like right when she started talking, that's when my timer started. Maybe your timer started a little later. So
no, it didn't. But okay, if you just watch it, that would just be great, so that everybody, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I right when they start speaking is when I start the timer. So
okay, all right.
Thanks.
And now we have Evaluator 2 with her beautiful little vase in the background. I don't know if that's real or what, but everybody, please welcome Isha with our evaluation for speaker number 2. Isha.
Thank you, Rita, and happy Valentine's Day. What a great day to spend the time talking about products we love. So I will be evaluating Olina's speech. So first of all, what a great speech. You did, what I liked the best was acknowledging the problem at the beginning. May it be the travel bug that you have, or may it be COVID, or may it be whatever you were talking about. You captured it at the beginning. So what that led to was all of the audience that they were engaged, because somewhere amongst us we have that problem. So we were looking at a solution, what you would come up with, or what you would talk about, or what product would you talk about. So that was great. Adding data to your speech and resources was also great when you were talked about 40%, or what you talked about from Wikipedia. That was great. So if we need to go back and take a look at a couple of things that we liked, we know where to go look at. You kept the user engaged, or your listeners engaged. And while you were talking, it did make me take the tour of CA1 with the audio tour. I've done the CA1 all the way from Eureka to San Diego, but now that you said that, I'm inclined towards taking it again. So your expressions were great. And also bringing your imagination into this on how you would use the product, or what the future of that product is in your speech, shows how you were comfortable in talking about things that don't exist right now, which is very essential for any product manager to say the vision of something that doesn't exist. So that was great. The closing argument and the closing statement was great. Summarizing it with concise benefits of the app was very nice. Again, as the second part, what you may want to work on is, I could see there was a clear level of comfortableness when you were reading and when you were not. So when you were talking about a little bit, there was a distinction. So if I want you to challenge yourself, is to talk more impromptu, because reading was evident. So that was evident when you were talking. And also one other thing that I found myself interested in was to put more emphasis on what that product love led you to. And you did say that it led you to building your own app or building your own audio tour, but that was just one sentence at the end. So maybe a bit more emphasis on that would have completed the speech about product you loved. Thank you.
Great evaluation.
Thank you, Keisha.
Thank you very much for that. All right. Now, let's see. We're going to look at some reports here on what has already been something that would go very high on the Net Promoter Score. Let's see. Our first person is going to be our awe counter. Amy, how did we do?
Thank you, Rita. For our new people, I thought I'd start with telling people what my role is, which is to note the words and sounds that are used as crutch or fill up pause words during the speeches. So things like so and well, you know, things like that. So I will go ahead and give my report now. So Svetlana, you gave 7 ahs, 1 1 so, and you used and a few times. I think as a filler word, it was, I didn't count it, but I kind of wanted to note it for you. So it seemed like you were using it more as a filler word rather than as a continuation. Erica used the once, 10 times, so once. Swati used twice, so once. Let's see. Jennifer used once, twice, and you know once. Samari, when in your speech, first speech, you did 9 times, 4 times, well, once, 7 times for so, 1 repeated word, and 3 you knows. And Elena, you used once, repeated word once. And then Misha, for your evaluation, used twice, 5 times, so once, and you know once. Isha, you used once, or sorry, twice, 8 times, so 3 times, repeated words twice. And then for the table topics, Tanya used twice, 7 times, so once, 2 repeated words, and 2 you knows. Rosalia, 3 ahs, 3 2 so's, and 1 repeats. And Namrata, 3 ums. And that's it. Back to you, Rita.
Thank you, Amy. A thorough report like that is so helpful for everybody. The next time we'll use 1 less and 1 less, all because we become more aware of the words that basically undermine our confidence. Now, our grammarian, Jennifer. Jennifer, can you share with us what you picked up today?
Yeah, thank you, Rita. So first and foremost, as far as the word of the day, congratulations. There were several people that used the word NPS today. Elena used it once. Liz managed to fit it in twice. Namrata also used it once when she talked about Slack. And Rita managed to fit it in once herself. So congratulations, everyone. When it comes to grammar and thoughts and the use of language, a couple of things that I want to point out. Shrimai, one of the things that in your evaluation was also noted was the use of the word apple of products when talking about the Dyson vacuum cleaner, as well as being able to impart that I could visualize through the words that you utilized going to the physician's office with all of that data and being able to just simply pull that up. I've been there. I could visualize myself being there and just being a sort of new mom, if you will, like maybe not always remembering everything. Having that data in your phone was super helpful. And I could just visualize that with you. So great use of language. Elena, I also wanted to commend you on the use of language there too. Things like travel bug. When you started walking us through the future and you pivoted towards how you can use audio tours in the world of self-driving cars, I could visualize myself in a self-driving vehicle down the Pacific Coast Highway, listening to a great audio tour. And so the use of language there was really helpful in painting that picture. Liz, I thought from a table topics perspective, it was a great pull-in for Valentine's Day, kind of tying in today's special day into some of the topics that you threw out there as table topics. I particularly love the term hunker down. It just feels very somehow gritty in there. Tanya, I also liked your use of the words of binge watching. That's such a word of today's age in terms of COVID. Rosalia, I really appreciated your use in terms of language around your two products that you particularly love. And then Nimrata, also that alliteration around skepticism of Slack, right? That alliteration kind of just piques your interest when you start talking about Slack as something that you turned your mindset around. So that's my grammarian report. Back to you, Rita.
Great report. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to share. Oh, no, wait a minute. Let's see. Nav, can I get your timers report, please?
Yeah, hi. Just a quick level set. So for speeches, the timing is 5 to 7 minutes. Table topics is 1 to 2 minutes. Evaluators is 2 to 3 minutes. So for Srimai, you went 7:07, which is perfect. You were just a few seconds over the 7-minute green time. So that's great. Olina, yours was 6:47. And my understanding is like, I think you kind of have, it's better to be at the 7-minute mark. So just keep that in mind. For table topics, Tanya, you were at 1:45. So all of you were actually below 2 minutes. I would encourage you guys to hit the 2-minute mark next time. Roselia, you were 1:30, and Namrita, you were 1:45. For evaluators, Misha, you were at 3:12, and Oline, Misha, you were at 3:12, and then Isha, you were at 3:15. So you guys were both in the clear. Yeah, that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Okay, now I'm going to share my general evaluation of the entire meeting. First, I have to say the SAA just spot on with the opening, the information, bringing everyone to the room, bringing us present-minded, everything done so very, very well. Thank you for that. Same is true with our fearless leader, our president, opening up the meeting and introducing the guests. One thought, as opposed to sharing all the names and then finding out why they're here, is just introduce one name at a time and go through the room with the guests that are there to find out why they're there and etc. Otherwise, it was just another perfect opening too, and it just led the way for our Toastmaster of the day, who was so gracious. First off, she shared what we were doing theme-wise, and she introduced each person in such a way where everyone would feel so valued. I really loved that. And I loved how she would summarize at the end and say, okay, everybody off of mute. Let's have a great big applause. That's a great thing to do, especially in this environment where we're not all together in the way that maybe we would be used to, where we could see each other. And this way, she brought us all together in that way, which I thought was just an excellent job. Maybe just a little bit shorter on the theme the next time, but otherwise, I really enjoyed that a lot. Table topics. The questions were great, absolutely great. Now, one of the things we want to think about with regards to table topics is why are we doing it? And one of the main reasons, if not the main reason that we do it, is because we want to be able to respond to a question when it's thrown at us, when the stakes could be high. We would not then expect that that person who throws that question at us outside of Toastmasters would repeat the question. So my suggestion to you is don't ask if they would like the question repeated to them. Let's have higher expectations for everyone, where they will listen to you and will be ready to roll and respond to that question. Otherwise, the way that you did it, the number of questions, the quality of questions, they were all spot on. With the timer lights, for whatever reason, I was timing the speeches and everything as well. And our lights definitely did not sync up. I'm not exactly sure why that was, but only in the last instance of the evaluator did they sync up properly. So it's just something to think about, because we start to develop an instinct about timing in terms of how we speak, which is again another great instinct to have outside of Toastmasters. And the only way that we can develop an accurate instinct is if the timing is falling into place exactly the way that it did. So it's just something to think about.
Yeah, it was my first time, to be honest, and it's a lot more involved than it looks. I think towards the end, I just got more comfortable with it. Yeah.
Okay, it's just a good thing to bear in mind. We all start at some place, and some people, I will tell you, people who are super seasoned Toastmasters really hate to do the timing thing. And then there are some people I don't know why it is this way with me, but I love doing the timing lights. And that's part of the reason why a lot of times I'm just timing on my own, just watching what's going on. So it's an opportunity to learn. And that's the thing that we want to remember first and foremost, is that we are all here to learn. And when we run into something that doesn't work right, that's okay. That's an okay thing, because this is learning here is better than learning out there. What we want to do is learn here so that when we go out there, we're really at our utmost best. And there is no place where communications is not required. Excellent communications makes you shine like a star. So it's absolutely great for you. So all in all, I have to say the meeting was just a pleasure. Seeing all of you is certainly a pleasure for me. And I thank you so much for that. In the meantime, if I was going to give out an award right now to Toastmaster of the Day of the Year, it would be to our Toastmaster of the Day. And so I'm going to turn the meeting back over to her. Everybody, wait, let's do this right. Everybody get off of mute, and let's thunderously bring her back to the podium. Come on up.
Thank you, Rita. Thank you so much. So I would request you to stay off of mute, and I'll bring on Laurie, and she will announce the best table topic speaker for today.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. So today, the person with the highest Net Promoter Score and the most bounce was our third speaker, Namrata. So everyone, let's continue with a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Laurie. We've now come to the end of our meeting, and I'd like to bring our president, Erica.
Thank you, Swati. What a fantastic meeting we had today. And I can't agree with Rita more. Swati, you really set the tone for the meeting in Facebook before we even had our meeting earlier this week. It was really fantastic. It was a really super fun meeting. Thank you everyone for bringing it together and for the beautiful evaluations and the great table topics. It was just another fun meeting for the books. So thank you all. I will share a slide now. A couple of announcements. The theme I have for this month is bravery, inspired by our Tanya from last meeting. And I think it's worthy to celebrate everybody's bravery. You're all trying new things and growing and doing that within the context of a brand new group of strangers. You know, we're all still, strangers pretty much. So I want to take a minute to celebrate everybody's bravery. Club dues will be due April 1st.
There's a typo there. Sorry, guys. It should be March 1st. So in about 2 weeks.
Okay. Club dues are due March 1st. Thank you. To Liz, hopefully you've received an email from her and you'll be able to get your payments in by the deadline. We did vote last meeting, in the last leadership meeting, to add $5 in fees. We have some things that we would like to, we want to get, oh my gosh, Zoom. We want to buy things like Zoom and have gifts and make meetings a little bit more fun. So That's why we've done that. Thanks to Lori and Jennifer, we now have a new club directory. So that'll be in the members drive. You can log in and contact your members. There's emails and everything for you. So we encourage you all to reach out to one another. And those of you that were able to, thank you for completing the club survey. It is really quite helpful moving forward. If you still want to complete it and just haven't had time yet, please go ahead and fill that out if you don't mind. This is Club Contest Month, and in order to participate in the district contests, we had to select the date of February 28th for our contest date. It's our next meeting date, so hopefully most of you are available. It'll be at the same time as we meet. So if you are interested in participating, well, I'm gonna talk about it in a second here, but please volunteer for a position or a role or as a speaker. The area contest is March 19th at 6:30. The winner, the winner is invited to move on to the area contest. If the winner doesn't wish to move on, then the next person down the line. Nobody is required to move on. Let's see. So a little bit about the club contest. The district is having two contests. Number one is table topics. We've all participated with table topics. You're well versed at what table topics is. And then there's the international speech. The international speech is 5 to 7 minutes. You can pick the topic. I've been told that winners tend to be inspirational. So if you'd like to go that route, you can do that as well. In order to participate in Club Contest Day, you can sign up to be a contestant or volunteer for a role. Then you'll prepare your speech. There's a link to the role handbook if you can take a look at it and make yourself familiar. We're all new to this, so we're all learning. Nobody has the expectations that we know everything. And we have great guides. Rita and Raji and Ansu all know the ropes, so they'll be able to guide us through this. We will have a brief contest meeting just to go over the rules with the contestants. We'll schedule that once we know who the contestants are. The contest will be on the 28th, and hopefully everybody will have fun trying something new. Yeah. So if anybody would like to volunteer for a contest role or be a contestant, please email me at Women in Product Toastmasters Club, and we'll start organizing. And you can invite friends. This will be a great opportunity to show people what we're all about. Is there any questions about Club Contest Day? I'm sure you all have lots of questions.
So for this contest, does the topic have to align with the product management, or it could be anything?
It can be anything. This is part of the district contest, so I think it can be open to whatever you want. This would be a great opportunity for you guys who have proposed for the Women in Product Conference to practice your speech for that as well.
So Erica, so next meeting, we are not assigning roles and we are taking volunteers?
I mean, we could assign roles if that's the way if you would like to do it that way. I didn't think of that, actually.
Now I am confused because if we have a contest day on the 28th, how will this work?
We'll replace our regular meeting with the club contest. So we can go ahead and assign whoever yeah, I guess we would need volunteers for, we would need to know who the contestants are, and then we can assign the rest of the roles like we would a club meeting. That's a good idea.
Erica, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
For each of these, the volunteer positions, is there information, you know, how, you know, you can read about being an evaluator? Is that, can we read about being, you know, the responsibilities of the contest chair and tech support and chief judge and that kind of thing?
Yes, I think that would be all, that would all be in the rule book. Contest chair, actually, I was going to see if Rita would be interested in or willing to be the contest chair. I don't know if that's a, you are muted, Rita.
Rita, you're muted.
Apologies. I said I'd be happy to do it, but I'd like to do it with a member in your club so that they see how it's done. I was thinking of Isha, actually, since she's our VPE, as being the logical person, but I won't hold you to that. But yes, I'd be happy to do that. I also want to point out just two things. Number one, it's because your club is chartered this year that you are able to participate in both contests. Normally what happens is you have this criteria for the international speech contest, but that is waived when you're a brand new club. And I also would like to point out that there is an international speaker who is one of my favorites, Craig Valentine, who started off just doing his icebreaker, really hadn't done very much, and just went moving along and became the international speaker that year. And it's a very big deal. I know it kind of, I don't think maybe you know, but it's not just at the district level, it's at the world level. And there are Toastmasters clubs literally everywhere throughout the world. It changes your life. So it's something that is worth at least playing around with and having fun. I think that the number one reason why you would like to enter a contest is because it just stretches you to become even better as being a speaker is concerned. So don't think about it in terms of, oh, I want to win, or I don't want to do it because I won't win. Think of it in terms of, I'm going to do it so that I become an even better speaker. Did you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so if contestants wouldn't mind reaching out to me and let me know that you're interested and which of the two contests you'll be participating in, and then we can plan accordingly.
I have an additional question, Erica.
Sure.
So if we decide to participate in the contest for the speech, should we work with you, Isha, to go through what that speech is or what the topic is?
No, because this is not tied to any topic. So you can pick whatever topic you can or you want to. And Erica and I will touch base on the volunteers that we have right now. I did assign few roles before this meeting, but I'll hold off onto them on before I send it out. Let's see what volunteers we get. If we don't get any volunteers by, say, next Sunday, we'll assign.
So also you can get credit, you can get Pathways credit for the speech that you do for your international speech assignment. So that's something that's good to bear in mind.
That is good to know. Okay. If anybody is interested now and just wants to give me a little quick private chat, that would be great too. All right. Thank you all for another wonderful meeting. Isha, do you have any other additions?
No, we will just let everybody know about the roles after we get some volunteers. And then Svetlana, do you mind taking a copy of the chat and posting it out too? There are some great links that probably not everybody will be able to copy all the links. So if we could do that, that'll be awesome.
Okay, at this point in the meeting, we'd like to thank our guests and hope that you enjoyed your time with us today and would consider joining us. And we offer you the opportunity to give us a little bit of feedback about how you thought today went, if you are so inclined.
I'll kick us off. I also personally enjoyed the going off mute and clapping. It just like brought me back in to re-engage to make sure I was paying attention. And also I am so excited to try out all these new products that I just learned about today, because that's my favorite pastime.
Well, Eileen, Arcana, thank you all for joining us today. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us too.
Thank you for having us.
If we can help you with anything, if you have any questions about the club, please reach out to Nav, and she'd be happy to talk to you.
Thank you.
And I am giving it back to Svetlana.
Cool. Thanks. Yes. So thank you, everyone. The only other that I wanted to just remind everyone to do is, if you would like to send feedback after all, maybe you didn't have time to write down all your thoughts, feel free to rewatch the video once it's available, you know, on YouTube and our website, and then use that evaluation form to send some thoughts to our speakers. So thank you. Happy Valentine. And enjoy the rest of your Sunday. See you all soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Erica, are we staying? Because I thought you saw your message on Slack.